So if you want to buy a business with just 10% down or less using some of the cheapest debt available in America, you need to know that for years, the SBA 7A loan has been the go-to tool for everyday people to buy small businesses. But starting June 1st, 2025, the rules are changing big time. And if you don't understand these new rules, your dream deal could get delayed, derailed, or dead in the water. So in this video, I'll break down exactly what's changing. I'll discuss on what it means for you if you want to buy a business the smart way. And if you don't know me, my name is Moran Pober. I'm the founder of acquisitions.com. We've been involved in over $1 billion in business transactions. So I've seen hundreds of deals up really close. And I want to help you avoid mistakes that I know could kill your deal. We're going to go through it lesson by lesson with hopefully easy explanations. And I'll try to do it even if you've never heard of the SBA before, right? So let's get started with what is even an SBA loan, right? So before we jump into the new rules, let's cover the basics. SBA stands for Small Business Administration. The SBA 7A loan is a government-backed loan that helps people buy small businesses mostly. The bank gives you the money, and then the government guarantees part of it, which that's what's making bank more willing to lend you that money. So it's super popular if you never heard about it, because you can, first of all, buy a business with sometimes just 10% down or less sometimes, and that money can come from investors. You can also get fixed interest rates. You can have up to 10 years to repay back the loan, and you don't need to be super wealthy to qualify for that loan. Now, look, let's look at those rules that are going to change right now and how even with those rules changing, you can still win, right? And by the way, if you want help navigating this process at any point, we work with buyers every day to help them do it faster, better, and without expensive mistakes that are very doable in this space. So book a free call with our team using the link below this video. We'll help you craft a plan that hopefully fits specifically to you and to the new rules, and we'll save you money in the end of the day. So let's start with lesson number 1 with the new rules. Partial buyouts are basically dead moving forward. So if you want to buy, let's say, just 60% of the business and you have the seller, you want him to keep 40%, that's now way more complicated, because under the new rules, if you're buying less than 100%, it must be a stock purchase and not an asset deal. And even worse, any seller who keeps even 1% equity must personally guarantee the loan for 2 years. So in plain English, partial deals are now basically legal nightmares. So plan on buying 100% instead. That's my suggestion to you. Lesson number 2. Seller notes are basically frozen assets right now. So a seller note is when the seller lets you pay part of the price over time. In the past, you could count, let's say, part of that note toward your down payment, as long as it was on what we call like a standby for 2 years. Now the situation is going to be different. That note has to be on full standby for the entire life of the loan, usually 10 years. So it means no payments, no principal, no interest until the loan is basically fully paid off. So most sellers won't agree to that most likely, but we'll see. Lesson number 3 is you probably need to bring in 10% in cash. In the new rules. So seller notes can only cover up to 5% of the equity injection, and only if they're on full 10-year standby. So it means that at the minimum, you need to bring in 5% in cash, either your money or equity from an investor. So with the new rules, no more stacking of notes and getting in with like the 1% like we could in the past that I've seen people going in even with 0 sometimes. Lesson number 4, if licensing is required, plan early. So some businesses like HVAC, plumbing, or pest control, they require a license to operate the business. Previously, the seller could retain equity and keep the license active during the transition. Now, if they keep any equity, they must personally guarantee the loan. And in most states, if they're just staying on as an employee, it means that they can't hold the license anymore. So it means that you'll need to, one, already have the license, two, have an employee with it, or three, have a very convincing plan to get it fast. Moves me to lesson number 5. Your investors now need to personally guarantee the loan, which is a bit of a yikes, right? So if you got outside investors, if they hold even 1% equity, at least from what it looks like they will need to sign or co-sign the loan, which most will not want that liability. So it means that you'll either need to give them some kind of a non-equity returns or raise outside equity separately from the SBA loan. Lesson number 6, high net worth, it means that you're basically no longer penalized. So here's a bit of a win. Previously, the SBA had a personal liquidity test, which means that if you had too much money, you could be disqualified actually for that loan, and that's gone. Now, lenders can consider basically what we call global cash flow. So your spouse income, rental income, affiliate income, and so forth. So if you're financially solid, that's now a plus. It's not a penalty because you could do some of those deals that you couldn't do in the past. Lesson number 7, CPA financials are now acceptable. So if in the past tax returns were required for underwriting, now if the returns are messy or unavailable, it means that the SBA allows CPA reviewed or prepared financials. This is huge for deals involving accrual-based accounting or fast-growing companies. Lesson number 8, citizenship matters big time. So every owner must be a US citizen or a green card holder. So visa holders, DACA recipients, and even a 1% foreign investor, the deal is going to be dead. So you'll need to make sure your cap table is clean and compliant. Lesson number 9, small deals get a speed boost. So deals under $500,000 can now skip full underwriting, which is actually pretty incredible. So if the buyer's SBA credit score is over 155, this is going to speed up approvals and simplifies paperwork like crazy. So it's great news for first-time buyers that testing the waters. I think this is going to open a massive opportunity for smaller deals. Lesson number 10, franchise reviews are gone. So SBA will no longer review franchise agreements. So it removes a massive bottleneck. So, but now you and your lender are responsible for checking if the franchise is eligible. So do your homework. I think this is also, as someone who didn't really like franchises deal in the past, I think this is actually changing the game a little bit. It's reducing the friction on those deals. Lesson number 11, you still want to pick the right sector. So choosing the right business is more important than ever. Look for industries that are boring, local, and profitable, like cleaning services or landscaping, home repair, IT support. Avoid the fads, like stick with steady demand. That's my opinion, at least. So ask yourself, would I be okay owning this business for the next 10 years, even if I'm not passionate about it? If the answer is yes, it's probably a strong candidate. Lesson number 12, you want to know where good deals come from. And it basically means really knowing deal flow basics and to know it really well. So there are 3 main ways to find deals. If you don't know, there are basically different online marketplaces like BizBuySell, brokers, business brokers, or direct outreach. So emailing, LinkedIn, reaching owners directly, basically. Especially now when SBA is going to be more difficult to deal with, you need to know that some, or not some, at least personally, the best deals that I've done weren't listed. In my opinion, the best deals are never listed. They come from building relationships, being persistent, and going cold to businesses. So pick an industry, make a list of businesses, and start a conversation. And remember that if you find a deal directly, you have much more chances to use other deal structures that don't require SBA. Lesson number 13, learn to analyze a deal so you don't overpay. You don't want to just pay for what looks shiny. You want to, more than ever, look at cash flow. Can it cover your loan payments and still pay you enough money? Number 2, owner dependency. So can the business run without the current owner? Number 3, look for customer concentration. Are there too few customers? If so, probably risky. And always remember to model your DSCR, which is debt service coverage ratio, because you want to make sure that the business can handle the pressure that you put on the business, the loan burden that you're going to put on the business. Lesson number 14, learn what to do after you buy the business, especially the first 90 days are crucial. So for example, on day 1, you don't want to shake things up too fast. You want to build trust with the team first, understand the operations, create quick wins that might include tightening expenses, renegotiating with vendors, or raising prices slightly. And one of the best questions you can ask yourself is, if I disappear for 2 weeks, what would break in the business? Fix that first. That's your new job. So if you're serious about buying a business with SBA in 2025 or beyond, you need to understand that you have those rules and you need to understand them inside and out. Deals will still happen, but the playbook has changed. If you want help navigating it, my team and I at acquisitions.com help buyers like you every single day. Check the link below to talk to us about your deal. The SBA rules change. That's your opportunity if you're ready. So let's go buy a business.